50% of our economy in Kenya. So I can advise them to do agricultural courses.
They take the agricultural courses.
Yeah, they take the agricultural courses.
Iko pesa.
Iko pesa.
Oh, umeona pesa. Lakini unajua wewe ni mwana biashara.
Yeah.
Make a date with me every Monday to Friday, 7:15 to 9:15 in the morning here at the Farmers Media, the breakfast show. Let us start the day right here. This is Noah Nasia. Welcome to our Farmers Breakfast Show right here from County 034. An amazing day that we have today. I have gentlemen here. I hope it will not be accused of gender imbalance. I have gentlemen here who are going to tell us some very interesting stories today. As you can see on your screens right there, we are going to talk about elephants, things elephant. I know we always talk about elephants. When we think about elephants, we talk about the tusks, poaching, ivory, trade, illegal trade that is actually out there. But today we're going to touch on something very interesting, and this is going to be a beginning of a series that we are going to see what is the success rate of having and what is the importance of having elephants within our vicinity. On my right, I have a gentleman called Godfrey Opira who will introduce himself and tell us who he is, and then we also have a farmer and also someone who has worked with farmers before and tell us the experience that I've actually seen on the ground. Godfrey, welcome, gentlemen, to this breakfast show. I wish we had called it Elephant Encounters. Anyway, just proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Noah, for welcoming me this time around in studio County 034.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really grateful that today I've managed to make it here. I used to hear a lot about it. I used to follow the channel on YouTube. And actually, I appeal to everyone out there to ensure that you share this clip so that everyone gets to know and learn from this mighty station, because there is a lot that is happening in here. You guys need to tune in, you need to subscribe so that you don't miss any episode that comes out of this studio. Otherwise, my name is Opira Godfrey. I am a conservationist, but also a consultant with World Aid.
Fantastic.
Yep.
And my name is Adam Zai. I'm a farmer and connected to farmers, and I've got lots of experience on how elephants can really cause pain and sorrow to farmers, and how they tend to fight over whenever they are attacked and whenever they feel they are at loss because of the elephants.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome again, once again. So those who are watching, remember this is a Farmers Media Breakfast Show. Your host, Noah Nasia Kadima. And as we are starting this, the discussion is about elephants and human, especially the human-wildlife conflict that is there. It is a threat. It is a huge threat, especially to food security. But what can we do about it? Where did we start going wrong? But what are the ways that we can actually mitigate this as a challenge? And as we discuss this today, if you have any questions, if you have any experiences, I shared this in my platform, and I have quite a number of farmers who have actually sent me even videos, even the destruction that elephants has done. But I know from Godfrey's perspective, it will also touch on us as farmers. Have we invaded? So for us to start this discussion, Godfrey, why did you get into conservation?
Well, first of all, you know, when you're a conservationist, being a conservationist is actually someone who advocates or who lobbies to ensure that animals, wildlife, and biodiversity is protected.
Yes.
So when you look at the nature, nature is so beautiful that you will not even want to lose an inch of it.
Exactly.
So that's one of the reasons why I entered into conservation, and it is something that I have passion for, because when I see the animals, I'm very happy. When you look at the nature, like forest, they give us a lot of things. Like forest give us oxygen that we take.
Yes.
So why we look at how we down the trees? I mean, like even the animals bring in a lot of revenue to the government, but also it is important for us to ensure that we conserve nature in that we have it protected and also kept intact for the future generation. Why must we have it for only ourselves when we have generations and generations coming after us? So it is important for us as farmers to ensure that whereas we are also doing our own business of farming, we should also ensure we preserve and conserve the environment.
Very interesting. So was this something that you saw when you were growing? Did you see a need? Were you affected by the conflict? What came in your head to do it? Because it is very rare
Yeah, well,
Me and my conservation is for chicken.
first of all, because you like it. Well, the place where I come from is actually bordering a PA. Yeah, it's
I think for the purposes of our viewers, you can tell us what a PA is.
Oh, okay, protected area. So where I come from, it's a place near a protected area, which is called Murchison Forest Conservation area, which is in Uganda. It's one of the biggest national parks actually we have around. And so with the animals moving from the national park coming to the community land, and then I would also witness those challenges that the people near protected areas are facing, and also, but I would still look at the beauty of the nature which is just near us. Instead of paying a lot of money to go and look for these animals in other national parks, I just walk a distance and look and stand at a distance and see animals, see elephants, see gazelle, see zebras, see all the types of the animals that are there. So I'm like, instead of allowing people to kill these animals that I just move some few kilometers and look at them, why can't I also get involved into saying, please don't kill them, let them be there so that we can continue seeing them, but also look at a way that can balance the situation, like even the farmers who are near the protected areas can still benefit from it. I saw a lot of people, government agencies, NGOs that are friendly to the environment coming in to help the communities. So I'm like, yes, this is the way to go. Very interesting. Yeah.
So when we pass through, let me ask this question: when you pass through somewhere and somebody asks you, have you ever eaten a gazelle? You know, I feel pain.
Yeah.
Interesting. Adam, you've visited farmers, and I think we've also visited farmers together with you. And what have you seen farmers complaining, especially about the elephants raiding their farms? What has been the experience?
The experience has been very hard and tough for farmers, and it is painful. You know, when you look at a situation whereby there are small-scale farmers who are planting their food in their small piece of land for their own use, not even for selling. So they have timed this season and they have put in, let's say, an acre of maize or half an acre of maize just for their own consumption for the period. Then one night, this investment they have put in is raided and it is completely down, and they know that they have to wait for another season. Yes, it causes them pain. So these experiences, I've seen them from farmers one-on-one. I've also tried do my small scale farming and I've seen how it was painful it was.
See, losing all that crop.
Yeah.
Interesting, very interesting. In Kenya we say ilikuramba. Anyway, so gentlemen, as we are discussing this, and I think I like the fact that Adam, you actually brought in the aspect of the smallholder farmers, because they don't do huge parcels of land where you have probably 20 acres of a crop. Probably it's half an acre, quarter of an acre, 1 acre, 2 acres maximum. Back to your period, what is the prevalence of the human-elephant conflicts?
Of course, you see, human-elephant conflicts is something which is very big. The prevalence is really very big because we've had a lot of farmers. We've had a lot of farmers lose a lot of money, lose lives, get injuries, and also some of them actually lose their loved ones. It is very big, but also we also go back and look at ourselves. What are we doing as people? What are we doing as farmers to ensure that these things continue? I mean, like, for example, you'll find that the human population increase has also caused a lot of human-elephant conflicts.
Yes.
People are producing day and night, and you find that the more they produce with the little land, like my colleague was saying, some of them have small land. So if you have small land, but in your family you're like 20, what do you expect? If the boys start growing, they will have to ask their parents, please, we need some land where to settle.
Yes.
And so what happened is, because, like, for example, assuming I'm the father, like I've told you, I come from a place which is nearing the protected areas.
Yes.
So what I will do is I will extend my family closer to the protected area
Oh, you actually invade them.
I invade them. I encroach on their place.
Yes.
So once I encroach on their place, what will happen is that these animals, like especially the elephants are one of the most intelligent mammals we've ever seen in this world. Because everything they do, they remember. At least even scholars have it like they can remember something done to them for like more than 20 years. So they have routes that they always move to. Now, if assuming I have extended my family and I've given birth to so many people, and now we've encroached on the corridor of the elephants, they will not say, Opira's family has increased, let's not continue encroaching, moving on the route that we've been moving through. They'll continue moving in that route, and in that way, when they find I've planted some crops, they will not spend it. They will have to, eat everything that is there.
Exactly.
Because I am the one who has encroached on them by enlarging my population and also planting my crops closer to where they are.
Yes.
Like maybe an animal corridor. You go. So that becomes a problem on my side.
So just to I like the analogy you've actually posted and shared about the as encroaching. So do you want to tell me that there are some areas where humans were not meant to stay and wild animals are meant to stay?
Exactly. When you look at the history of the world, how the world came up, you'll realize that many or bigger places were areas where animals used to move freely. Okay? So when they had that liberty to move freely, they created the memories in their minds that from here you will move from here, there's a water point here, there's forage place here, and then there is a relaxing place the other side. So when one of those areas are encroached by the people, when I know this is where I get this is where I go for forage, this is where I go for water. The other side is where I go when I want to relax, I go and lie down or maybe lean on a tree. And if some of those areas are being encroached on by the people, what happens is I will have to fight back and get my areas brought back to me. Or I ensure that I disrupt all your businesses to ensure that you leave that place for me. And how do I do that? By chasing you, by killing you, by eating your crops, and by making a lot of damages. That's what actually elephants do.
So these elephants that we are actually seeing that are invading farms, they have right of way.
That is true
to some extent.
If the way is their past corridor, like what we call animal corridor. Okay?
Yes.
Like a buffer zone.
Yes.
There is a place, like for example, a place where animals are protected, and then there's a place that is left for them to roam freely. Like in case they run shortage of forage, shortage of water from where they're protected from, they have an inch or 2 more kilometers to go and have something eaten.
As a conservationist, I hope I got it right, yes. As a conservationist, then what would you do to protect the humans? Or would the life of the animals come first? Which one comes first?
First of all, nature is a gift from God, and people are equally gift of God. Gift from God.
Yes.
So, when we are doing conservation work, we ensure that we strike balance for human well-being and also for wildlife well-being.
Yes.
So, to strike that balance, we need to understand the perspectives of how we should do this. One is we need to understand on our side as people. What are we supposed to do to ensure that we are in peace with the animals? And even for them, the animals, they will not understand. They will know this is our area, this is where we used to go, this is where we take water from, this is where we eat from.
Then who is supposed to educate human beings about this?
Well,
and it's very interesting because I don't hear you calling them animals. I hear you calling them wildlife. So who is supposed to teach the human beings about the importance of conserving? And also we also have instances where the protected areas like the national parks and stuff like that, and areas like that have actually not been able to host or accommodate this wildlife because of things like drought and stuff like this. Who is supposed to then bring this education or this information to the human beings?
Yeah, first of all, as people, we need to appreciate that nature is very important to us. Actually, nature can live without us, but we cannot live without nature. That one is very key. Because when you look at the things that are there in wildlife, the components of wildlife are so big. Like I've just told you, forests give us the oxygen. Imagine today there are no trees. Where would we get the oxygen from? And the animals, will improve on the biodiversity in the world to ensure that there is natural selection of some animals that would be dangerous to us, and then there are those that are supposed to be there to ensure that we also live.
Yes.
So in this aspect, therefore, we need to know that nature is important and also appreciate the fact that they are there, they're God given. We need to live with them harmoniously. And then the people are supposed to bring this education to us. So first of all, it needs to start from us. Okay, it should start from us.
Yes.
As people who love nature, because even the Bible says when God created man, He said, "Go and protect these things." Okay.
Hold on, that fact. We will be going for a short break. Hey, Obila, I didn't see that coming. We'll be going for a short break. And when we come back, we want to touch on now what are the strategies, how have the human beings, how are the farmers, how have they been affected, in especially the areas where Godfrey calls them PA, protected areas, national parks, conservation areas. And then what is the link? Because for me, this has been a very interesting journey because I have never seen myself being part of conservation. But now I think I am very ready to lead. We'll be taking a short break. This is a Farmer's Breakfast Show.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
Welcome back to Farmer's Breakfast Show. This has been an interesting morning, and as we are discussing about human-wildlife conflict, especially the raiding and how it affects food security. Before we went for a break, Godfrey told us something very interesting, that God actually told man, go and protect. It was not the other way around.
No.
As I said when I was starting, this is going to be a very interesting discussion. So the responsibility to take care of wildlife was actually meant for the human beings to protect.
Exactly.
You've also mentioned something very interesting, which I want Adam to pick on that, is that you've said that we are, okay, let me use my own words to describe what you said. We're giving birth more than we should. And because of that, we don't have land. But is it because we need big land? Why don't we just use the small one that we have? Why do we have then to, that will go into Adam. Why are we then, because we need to have 10 children, we have now to get pieces of land, because areas around these areas, the lands are so big, but you hear one person has inherited 300 acres, why not inherit 100 acres?
You know, humans are greedy people.
Mm-hmm.
And then apart from being greedy, also some end up having more responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to use whichever method they can get
mm-hmm.
to care for those responsibilities. So if this man has 1 acre that is bordering the conservation area or protected areas, as the country has put it,
yes,
they tend to find means and ways using their greedy means of survival,
Yes.
or whichever means, but if he can solve his problem by encroaching an acre more
Yes.
inside the conservation, because in some areas there are no clear boundaries that at this point this is the conservation area. So they keep on adding. In that way, without them knowing, they are encroaching in the buffer zones and the animal corridors. Like now for elephants, who they tend to be migratory, so they have their own routes, and these routes, I think they inherit the memories even to their offsprings. So they are born knowing.
And they know that the elephants cannot sell land.
Yes.
So back to Opera, because this is a very interesting discussion, and we've never looked at it from this perspective. I think most of the time we cry and talk about, we elephants have raided our farms, we've lost this, we've lost this. I'm trying now to imagine if my farm is also in a protected area. What should then be a government? Should it be then a government policies that do not pass through this area, or what? Because I don't know. I inherit land. I sell it to someone else. By the time it's the sixth generation of somebody who's inherited that land, it means that they don't even know, and probably they're even living inside the park. Should it be a government policy, or what should it be?
Well, government put those policies long time ago, but like Adam said, people are just stubborn. People are just stubborn. When you go to all the government strategic institutions, you'll find that they have even like these maps which are showing clearly that this is where, like for example, protected area is, and this is how much land, how much more kilometers it enters into the community land, which is like a buffer zone. People know, but because of, like he said, our greed, we tend not to pay heed to those kind of advices given by the government people. But we continue encroaching and encroaching. But also you realize that sometimes even the very government agencies will use those corridors and create urbanization, like for example creating roads. Okay, they will create roads, they'll create electricity poles to go through those areas, and some of those developments cause a lot of threats. Like when you realize mostly in African countries, you realize that very many mineral resources are discovered into the protected areas, and now they carry those big machines and take them into those protected areas, like to till the land, like maybe when they're excavating the oil or doing those kind of seismic surveys and what have you. So those activities, those urban development related activities also threaten wildlife life. So like for example the elephants and the other animals will tend to run for their life, and in running for their life, all that comes in their mind is, there was a buffer zone for us somewhere, because now there's a problem inside, let's go to the buffer zone and hid there. Let's go there and have our water from there. Let's go there and get our forage from the other side, because of the industrialization,
what they have learned and known about it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
you get that.
Very interesting. So Adam has mentioned something about the elephants being migratory. So how has then you as conservationists used the knowledge that you have in actually making sure that farmers and human beings living around the migratory, because definitely when they are migrating, they will not pass through the tarmac because they like hiding as well. How have you then used the knowledge that you have on this to guide people who are living around the protected areas, the PA areas and parks and such? How have you done that to make sure that there's less conflict?
Yeah, first of all is we've done a lot of sensitization to the people who are living near such protected areas. We tell them, like for example, when it comes to elephants, it is very important to learn the elephant behaviors. You should know when an elephant is at a good zone, a critical zone, a dangerous zone, because they have warnings. And you should know the behaviors of an elephant when he has charged. So we do those sensitization to the communities that they should get to know when you're moving and when you encounter an elephant and you see certain behaviors, like for example flapping the ears, just know what it means. when does it charge? You should know. When is the distance critical to an extent that it will now assume, okay, this is not friendly person, this is an enemy to me. I should take defense, or else I'll be killed. Okay. So those kind of behaviors of animals we sensitize the people, but also we continue telling them these areas are buffer zone or animal corridors. Whereas you're living here, just to know that this is a migratory place. Anytime these animals will come and use their roots because they know it has been passed to them generation after generation. So as you're living here, just to know anytime they will come and attack you.
Yes.
But also don't do these behaviors because even for example, if you stay near the protected area and you know you are going to do cultivation, you are planting maize. You know maize is very sweet, and no animal would lose. I mean, would miss on eating something very sweet. It's just like us. I mean, like when you eat ugali here, and the other day you find chips and chicken, you're like, wow, this is it. So in the same way, when the elephants are eating a lot of grass inside, and then they come and taste something which is sweet, they know. You know what? That elephant will go back and tell his friends and his families there is something very sweet this side. Next time I'm going out, please follow me.
You said this yesterday, we had a discussion, and I've never thought about it because I keep on asking myself, elephants eat grass, they eat trees and all that. Why do they eat watermelon?
Who does not want to eat what balanced diet? If us human beings are also craving for balanced diet, even for them when they find something outside there which is a little bit sweeter than what they get in the areas where they're protected, they will always want to go and get more of that kind of sweet thing.
So are there specific crops that farmers around the conservation areas should not plant?
Yes. For example, we have always told farmers, if you are near a protected area, don't go for fruit trees. You are planting jackfruits, you are planting mangoes, you are planting pawpaw. Those are very good forage for, like, especially the elephants. Once they test on some of those kind of crops, hey, my dear, they'll keep on coming. And when they come, they'll just put, like elephant will just put the board and then shake it a bit. All the fruits will pour down, and then they start taking the trunks and eat, you know. And the other crops are also like, some people say cereals. Cereals is also very good forage for elephants.
Yes, maize.
With maize, even rice. They'll just crush everything that is within that in that farm. So it is important. If you want to plant like you can go for like plant ginger, plant chili, because even in the past, traditionally we also know, even our parents know that these are crops that are not edible, are not palatable to the elephants. Why should you go for fruit trees when you know you can plant chili, when you know you can plant ginger, when you know you can plant other things that you know are not palatable to the elephants?
Very interesting. So back to Adam. We've seen many things that farmers are failing. What are some of the crops that you've seen that farmers have planted and elephants have raided and damaged? Okay, not damaged. They've actually eaten. Godfrey saying they've eaten a balanced diet. They have helped themselves too, but also in the process of ending. And I'll come back to you because they allowed that against you. Because when the elephants come and raid a farm, they don't just eat the fruits. They even cut down those trees. So we'll come back to that. Which are some of the crops that you've seen farmers complaining that elephants have raided and damaged?
You know, as he was talking, I got some points and they were really making me laugh. But, you know, maize is the staple food in Kenya.
Yes.
And when I was talking about smallholder farmers, the staple food is maize. So they tend to plant maize because the other accompaniments that come with ugali, they are just things they can source. Even if there's drought, they will just walk to the market. So the main crop is maize. And this crop really makes farmers have the pain when they have really invested, because it involves tilling the land, using fertilizer, buying seeds, engaging extension services, irrigation systems. Sometimes rain comes well and they feel relaxed because some of the inputs have been reduced. Then sometimes rain fails, they have to add in some, which will include like irrigation. They will include to engage services of buzzers and
Yes.
tanks,
Yes.
drip irrigation, So when these crops are raided and the way elephants are, what makes pain in farmers is how the elephants come in. They eat, they step on, they spoil everything,
including the irrigation system.
Yes.
I don't know if our producer has some of the image of how elephants just raid the farms.
Yes.
They don't care. In
Yes.
fact, I think I shared that. I think if our director has the videos of I woke up one day in the morning and I saw elephants in my farm, and one really huge elephant, and I was very surprised that an elephant can actually raid in the morning.
Yes.
So back to your opinion, why are elephants destructive? Because I think if it's about coexistence, they should just come eat something small and go. Why do they eat everything and then they cut down the trees? I've lost quite a number of pawpaw trees. You're worrying me now because I have planted the watermelon. I have planted the mangoes now. I've even shared on social media that I'm about to start harvesting my mangoes. And you're telling me elephants are about to come.
First of all, when you look at an elephant, it is not something which is very new. We all know elephant. We know the size of an elephant. Something that is close to 6 tons.
Yes.
And that means to maintain that body weight needs eating a lot of food. Okay, so that's why when it reaches a farm or even within the areas where they're protected,
yes,
they will eat as much as possible to ensure that they maintain the body size. They are satisfied, they have enough water. Okay, so when they reach a farm, they will eat everything that is there. They will even trample on the small that are not yet fully germinated. They will trample on that. They even destroy everything. For them, they assume even the pipes which are pushing water is something edible. They will try to pull it out to ensure that, to make sure that they have not left any stone unturned.
Okay,
that's the behavior of an elephant. So when it invades you, just it will do a damage that will leave a very big impact in your life. You'll make a lot of losses as a farmer, and that really is very painful to farmers. But I mean, that is its nature. That's how it does. So the only thing we need to do is to find ways of coexisting with these animals. So
and on that point, I think one of the questions that is coming through is very interesting. Is how have you then, as conservationists, especially the human elephant conflict? I know the other ones are there. I know that lions enter and attack sheep and goats and cow, but it's not to the extent. The damage is not to the extent of elephants. So, as conservationists, how have you engaged with local communities? I know you've mentioned that, but for the purpose of those who are watching, how have you engaged with the local communities to raise awareness of the importance of the elephant, actually to help them understand the elephant behavior, as well as the conservation while addressing this issue? Because why I'm asking this is because elephants never come when you're planting. They only come. In fact, it's very unfair because they only come a day to harvesting. So do you have a syllabus of training local, where I come from, we call them balozis. I know you met some of them. Yes. And train farmers and guys around there on what is the behavior of an elephant. It will come when you're about raid and all that. And I know we'll talk about some solutions. How have you engaged with communities?
First of all, thanks for bringing that question. And for our viewers, we need to know that what is important here is the behaviors of some of these animals in the wildlife of these animals. Like, for example, in particular, these elephants. I told you in the beginning that elephants are one of the most intelligent animals, maybe even the most intelligent mammals in the world. What actually happened is that the elephants, I don't know who orients them on the seasons of farmers or farming per se. They know from January to this period, there's planting going on, and they know when is harvest. Like, for example, when you plant rice, okay, there is that scent. When you plant like super rice, the one with high scent,
yes,
okay,
yes,
So there is that period.
We call it Pishori. Yeah.
Pishori, yes. So there is that period when it will start send that scent. Even if you are driving or riding on a roadside, you will hear the scent. I'm like, wow, where is this Pishori? I need to buy some. Even you as a person, you admire to go and buy some.
Right.
So in the same way, when the elephants are moving from place to place looking for what to eat, when they get that, they smell that scent, they will, oh, there's something nice here, sweeter here.
That is not grass.
So they will turn around, try to get the direction of the wind. When they know, they'll start following that direction. Once they follow, then they will go to the place and they will eat everything that's there.
Why can they not eat just a bit?
I've told you the size of elephants are huge.
And that was 130 kilos per day. Yes. They have to eat 130 kilos per day.
So imagine the rice, even like you find 1 acre is not enough for one elephant. With the reason why you find a lot of trampling on a field or a farmer is they even scramble for the small 1 acre which is there. Imagine 5 elephants have entered into your field, into a chamber.
Yes.
So what happens is that everyone will need to eat, like you said, the 130 kilograms. Now there are 5. 1 acre cannot even accommodate an elephant or 2. Yes. So they will start scrambling. In the process of scrambling, they will strap or they will destroy. They will do a lot of damages on the farm. So that's one thing. So what we have done with the local people is, first of all, we've told them, we've educated them on the behaviors of these elephants.
Yes.
We've told them, actually some communities relate to these animals.
Yes.
Okay, some of them relate to these animals. Like in the north, in the northern part of Uganda, there are Choli people. They relate to elephants as their clan. Okay, so when we go to them, we tell them, okay, look, we have your brothers which are being protected.
Is that why you call them boys?
Yeah, we have some of your brothers because they are totems.
Yes.
You know? So they guard them jealously. They don't want them to be killed. Yeah.
Okay.
That's one significance of these animals. So we tell them there are people who are planted closer to the corridors of where your brothers move, like these elephants move. So we need to talk to them that next time they should not do this, or they should plant crops that are not palatable to these animals so that they can remain intact. Like I've told you, Chile has a lot of market these days, Jinga and other things. And also, we've also attached some of these community members. We've, as conservation organizations, we've given them other livelihood options, projects, to ensure that they continue surviving even amid these challenges. Okay, if the problem is actual elephant raids being rampant in that village, we actually design a project, a very good project with them that is sustainable, that is environmentally friendly, and also economically viable to ensure that they continue surviving. So in doing that, we are trying to tell them, okay, look, leave the elephants, you can survive with even these ones here.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that we've been doing with these local communities. But we've also engage and try to engage the government to ensure that we keep talking to them.
I'm actually being told to just check the video there. You are I think our director will just restart that video again. And here you actually explaining something. What was happening there? I think it's something that we'll get to there. But before actually get to that, I think that one is what are the steps being taken now? What are farmers doing? I've seen very many things. I've seen, in fact, even in my own farm, we were lighting the firewood on the fences. But the elephants come, they look at it, they using their hind legs, they just throw the dust on them. I've seen people putting beehives. I've seen people having somebody beating, yeah. And then as you answer that, I think there's also something that you mentioned about how the elephant trades is also affecting marriages. Yeah. But just before that, give us a picture of what are the mitigating ways that to stop this.
Yeah, thank you. There are so many ways that our grandparents invented, and there are also some that we've improved on in this generation. First of all, these preventive mitigation methods are so many, and they've been there, but still raids are continuing. Why are they continuing? Especially on elephants. With elephants, they easily get adapted to one method of mitigation. So if you are this farmer, we tell farmers always, don't only use one mitigation method on your farm. Okay. For example, They are acoustic deterrent methods. So by acoustic, I mean things that make sound.
Okay.
You've just been talking about banging
The
jerry
Babatis.
cans, okay?
The iron sheets.
Yeah. Vuvuzela, you're using vuvuzela. Yeah, other people record a sound. Other people record the sound of like animals that we think are, you know, a little bit a threat to elephants. Okay. So you record that sound and then put it on a radio, and then radio kwa shamba.
It will
play the whole night. So that's the acoustic deterrent method that people are using.
Yes.
But sometimes these elephants will come and listen. Mbona hii sauti I change. It's the same thing time and again. Able to songe kidogo tuone, they'll move closer. They'll move closer. They'll move closer.
Yes.
And the closer they move, they will realize it's not dangerous. Tufanye vitu vyetu. They'll come and eat.
Yes. Yeah.
They'll come and eat. And we've also talked to farmers about other agricultural deterrents. And by agricultural deterrents, I mean like use of chili, use of crops that are not palatable to elephants, which they've also done in so many ways. We've also told farmers to also use like light deterrents. Light deterrents, you find like a farmer using a torch. Every evening, what happens is that you just mentioned something about domestic violence. You realize that in areas where elephant raids are very rampant, in the morning, the family is okay. The breadwinner will come home, stay with the family. Every evening, when the sun is coming to set, you'll see him putting on gumboots, you'll see him putting on jackets, you'll see him putting on a head cuff, and then having a torch, having a banger, having even a panga to move to the shamba. So what happens is that women who want to be taken care of even at night will begin complaining that now you see, most of the time
I will not say how. I will not ask how.
So most of the time you find that the parents, like especially the father of the home, and then older young men will go to the garden to protect the garden the whole night. Then in the morning they come back home. So that is a very big problem that is causing a lot of domestic violence at home, at our homes. We've also talked, like government has also put trenches and electric fences. Now one thing people don't know is, imagine you bought a plot, okay, and you know your plot is like this studio size, but someone puts half of your studio size and puts fence there and then cuts you off from accessing the other areas. So that one is de-animalizing, I would say dehumanizing, but de-animalizing, killing the rights of the animals to move freely to their areas. Okay. So these are some of the challenges we've had with some of in some of our discussions. You are closing up the animals in the farm, so that they don't do damage. But do you know where they stop? Do you know where they get forage from? Do you know where they get water from? Now, if you stop these animals from accessing those areas which are friendly, they will end up looking for areas where they can get water in the community. So when they go in the community, that's where they will have havoc.
So my question comes in there very interestingly, that then we are seeing that the human-elephant conflict is not there's no one solution for it.
No.
There are quite a number of solutions. Because the way the effects of human-wildlife conflict go in, you said it goes even into the bedroom, eh?
It does.
Into the bedroom of human beings.
It does, yeah.
So, what are some, these are different ways. We've heard about elephant trades, we've listened about the beehives being put. But one of the challenges and I want to come back to Adam about that, is what are farmers doing now? And what are these things that farmers have done but have not worked when it comes to human-elephant conflict? I've seen areas where the elephant is actually coming, when the fence is electric, they actually come and put another tree. They put another tree, they put on the fence, and then step in. What are some of the ways that you've seen that farmers have tried to do and have failed?
Honestly, farmers have failed to protect themselves against elephants because they have used very many ways. Some are very crude and they have been unsuccessful. They have used small explosives. You go buy those explosives. So you make camps outside your farms.
Yes.
You call all the men around. So when you sense those are the
Elephants can.
the way he's calling them boys. they light on the explosives.
Yes.
But still, these animals, because they are intelligent, they tend to learn and understand these are just scarecrows, and we can just charge on those people. So when they come charging and people have finished their 2-3 explosives they had,
Yes.
people run. They end up being attacked.
Okay.
They have put in the banging of which
Bangers.
yes.
Yeah, like they can.
Yes. Vuvuzela.
Yeah,
But how
vuvuzelas.
much can you blow vuvuzela? You're throwing. Yeah, you dangerous.
And other methods like, strategically putting beehives
Yes.
in their corridor. You see, because we've learned that they use this corridor to come from their national park or their conservation area. So strategically, people have been putting in bees. But now, you find that, also bees are just very selfish.
In fact, they are worse. They're
Bees.
more migratory than.
Yeah.
So you find people have beehives,
Yeah.
but they don't have bees.
So if you people are put and say, okay, we are like they check, we had put in 10 beehives, so they say, okay, we go and sleep, not knowing that the following day bees have decided to go.
Yes.
So elephants just come pass, there were no bees. So that's also another method that they have tried to use and it has failed. So it is very frustrating. Yes.
Actually, on the issue of the bees,
Yes.
it's one of the best methods that we've tried to use and also try to tell people out there to use. But the biggest problem with them is when we tell farmers use beehives to cover areas that you think elephants come in from, and when they do that, instead of taking bees that are already colonized, they just take beehives. We don't say beehives.
So you actually see that it's the donation of boxes.
Boxes being hanged around.
And then we hope, and then the worst thing about it is that even the environment around, which you now, Opera now better calls it biodiversity, there is no forage for bees.
For sure.
So if there's no forage for bees, so back to you, Opera, and I think as we continue discussing, there's a lot that is coming out, Why is it that then the national governments in the regions that we are in, because I know Murchison's place is actually in Uganda, we've seen farmers complaining in Tanzania here because of the Amboseli and other areas, we've seen Kenya farmers around Amboseli area, Namanga area, Rombo as far as Tsavo and all those areas, some parts of Mount Kenya region, where elephants are. It's a constant complaint. Our Kenyan Wildlife Society, which we hope we'll be having a discussion with them, is actually looking at how to compensate farmers. Why is it then that this is taking too long to get a solution?
Yes.
Especially the fact that there are too many players in that field.
Exactly.
Yes.
When you look at the compensation policy, I've had opportunity to read through some of the compensation policies. You realize that the bureaucracy of one to get compensated is just enormous. Okay, you need to go to the field, do inspection. The area chief should come and witness. The extension worker should come and witness, maybe like for the county government or something like that. And then those documents are then carried there, taken to higher authorities, and then you find like the MPs are supposed, there is a committee that's supposed to verify it. After verifying it, and then the money comes back. But also with our country being so much corrupt, you find a lot of money is being lost on the way before it reaches the farmer itself. And as it is going, exaggerations are also being included in the process of compensation.
Okay.
So what happens when it reaches the last person to make approval? You realize that they say, no, this is too much. First take it back. Improve on it. So in the process of improving on it, as a farmer, I am suffering.
Okay.
So that is something that has been bringing a lot of problems. But also, we also have people who are exaggerating some of these rates, some of these, damages. If it is 1 acre,
Yes.
when I know I am someone who will work on your document, I will say, you know what, I'm going to make it to be 3 acres. So when it is 3 acres, just know the money for 2 acres is mine. Yours is the one out. That one I will take. So that so in that process, you realize that you lose a lot. As government, you lose a lot. The money that would have gone to the hospital to buy drugs, to work on the roads, are just being swindled by someone who included some 2 acres on a farmer whose land was genuinely raided by elephants. So you find that kind of tendency also makes a lot of these processes become, a bit difficult. And actually, like for example, I've seen in some areas where we are even now doing translocation. We know there is a family head, like these animals, like elephants move in a group. So the head of that group, like the head of that herd, when we know it is problematic, we translocate it. We take it away from Amboseli. We take it to another park, maybe Savo. Because we know now it has gotten the roots of areas where it eats people's crops from. So we take it from that national park, we translocate to another national park to ensure that the people there take some fresh air. By the time it will get used to another national park, it will be a time when people have harvested like 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons. And in the same way, when they realize it is the same one, because some of them are collared. So when when it is collared or it is known, it has a GPS on it. They will know it. They track it. Once they track it, they know. Once it starts problems in that very national park, they'll find another place where to take it.
Now there's a behavior about before we take another break. There's a behavior that we have seen with elephants, that there are some elephants that walk alone, and there are some elephants that walk in packs, in groups. What is the significance of these two? Because we hear that it's just hearsay. Now that you're an expert, you tell us that the elephants that walk alone are very dangerous.
It is true.
So what is the difference between that? Because the distraction is also a bit interesting.
Actually, the elephants that move alone,
and I think we can share the video of that elephant that had raided.
Yes. So mostly you'll realize that the elephants that move alone, we call it the boys that want to prove themselves. Okay? They want to prove themselves that I am worthy. I can move around, look for food, know where it is, come and get my family, take it there to go and eat. And that's why they're very dangerous. When they're moving alone, it's like when you want to prove a point, whether in parliament or wherever, in your family, you don't want anyone to come closer or to even spoil your mission. Okay, so that is the reason why they're always very destructive. They are very dangerous, and once they charge, they really go for the person who has caused havoc.
So let me ask. I was hoping to have that video on, but anyway, it's this animal alone. So now, coming to before we go for this break. Elephants have different colors, different sizes. We have some big elephants, small elephants. Here there's a savanna elephant. Which are the most destructive elephants? Actually, we can see that that elephant raiding the farm. We can actually just freeze the picture there so that we just understand something interesting. Which are these elephants?
You see, like the elephants. All these elephants are very destructive. Okay, I will not disregard one not being very destructive or one being most destructive. But like the African bush elephants, they are really very destructive because they are very huge. The size is very huge. Like in Asia, I've at least seen some places where they have even domesticated these elephants to ensure that they don't cause a lot of havoc. They domesticate them. But like for us in Africa, the sizes are very big.
Extremely big.
Very big. So that means they eat a lot of food to ensure that they survive. So by doing that, that really means that they do a lot of havoc by the virtue of their size, the virtue of their stomach size, and they even have a lot of migratory routes. Because in the past, most of these areas were not covered by people. They are vacant.
So they are going
all over.
Very interesting. Hold on onto that thought. And as we come back, probably what we can discuss is it easy to domesticate an elephant? This is a Farmer's Breakfast Show, and we're taking a short break. We're talking about elephant trades and human-elephant conflict. What we'll be talking about in the next part after the break. Yes, apart from you telling us whether we can domesticate an elephant. We see that in India. And they're on the streets are destructive. We'll be coming back and talking about a solution that has been there, and actually those who have made this show a success. We will be right back. Regina.
Yes.
Take us a photo. Take us an award-winning photo.
From an experienced photographer.
Look.
I don't want light skin.
Alafu piga moja on the piga violets. Hivi. Welcome back to a Farmer's Breakfast Show, and as we have been discussing about human-elephant conflict, one of the things that we have always wanted to understand much more is then we cannot keep on talking about problems. There must be a solution that we can say, let us test, let us see if it works. And I'd like you, probably Godfrey, I have the honor of introducing you again as a conservationist, but also as a problem solver. What is this thing that you, as with the organization and in partnership with the farmers, have actually developed to see that, to test and see how we can help, we can actually reduce this conflict?
Thank you so much again for that question. As World Aid, we have developed a concoction which is scent-based, which is called Gadin. Gadin is a scent-based concoction which is used for deterring elephants from eating our crops. Just like I've told you, it is scent-based. And previously in the show, I also told you that, for example, You say pichori rice?
Yes, pichori.
Yeah, pichori rice.
Yes.
Just like that scent of pichori rice
Yes.
goes, and then elephants detect it, and then they will come and eat it. So imagine you have sprayed this scent-based concoction on the rice. So instead of the scent of the pichori going, it is now this scent which will go. So
interesting.
and this scent is actually very, very bad to an extent that you don't even feel like you should smell it. Okay, but the good thing with it is that it has no effect on human being and not even on wildlife. It is okay, because when you look at the ingredients that are used for making the concoction are just things that we plant as farmers. Like for example, we plant chinga. For example, we plant chili. For example, we have animals that give us cow dung. So those are all organic things that we know we can get from within our locality.
Yes.
So we mix all these ingredients in different ratios, and then the ratios that we have been tested and they are proved, they are very okay, they are very effective, and then we make it and we use it for these elephants. It's actually called gadin. And this concoction mixed with other other
ingredients.
mitigation methods
Yes.
works perfectly well to ensure that we are okay with the elephants. We live harmoniously.
Okay.
With
I think the question will come, and I think this is just the beginning. As we said, for those who are watching, this is just the beginning of a series of understanding how this can be a success story. The question then comes in: should that be sprayed in the the fences, and then I will be sharing some of the videos that you guided us, or should that be then put along the protected areas so that the elephants, when they reach there, they don't come out?
Well, thank you so much. When you look at the application methods, we actually have varieties of application methods.
And we can actually be showing the video of how to apply that.
Yeah, one of the application method is we have those that we call passive, and then we have those that we call active. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, let's go to passive first. When you look at the passive methods, is one way is by hanging the hanging bottles with this concoction guarding around the fence where you want to guard your crops, where you planted your crops. So when you hang this concoction along your fence, like you see them, you just tie them. You pour like 200 mils of guarding into a bottle, and then you perforate sides of that very bottle so that the scent gets out. So and then you also perforate some small hole at the bottom so that it keeps dripping. So the one that is dripping down, like diffuser, it will continue diffusing, and the scent will continue getting up there. So once you surround the perimeter of your farm with a rope, and then you can keep hanging those bottles at a distance of 1.5 meters or to 2 meters, depending on how much guarding you bought from a trusted source, from a trusted supplier. We've had so many people coming up with different methods, and they're calling it guarding. So you need to really work with us or with our partners to ensure that you get the product that is secure, that is effective, that has been tested and proven. So you perforate. After perforating, then you pour 200 mils in each bottle, and then it will continue dripping. So what we tell the farmers is every evening before you go to sleep, go and shake the rope so that it continues shaking, and then the smell will get out of the bottles to go as far as 200 meters away from your farm.
Adam, how easy can this be? Would that make sense for you as a farmer and those farmers you visit? I know you visit some of the farmers even in Namanga. You've seen the damage that has been there. How easy or hard is this for you, for farmers to be able to do this?
Based on the difficulties the farmers have experienced, I think this is an easy way, because if at all after doing this, I can have peace of mind. Peace with my family.
Safe bedrooms.
What happens After you've shaken, the ropes,
Yes.
and then they will keep swinging
Yes.
on the ropes, and then the smell continues getting out.
Yes.
So for you go and have your nice time with your family. You can even ask the boy, "How are you? Hey, how are you doing?" You can sleep, and then you have the ability to check whether the child is sick or not at night.
Back to Adam again. This is a very interesting solution because I have actually even personally seen it. I've tested and seen it working. I want to throw this question to you as Adam. Would you prefer, as a farmer and farmers who visit, would you prefer buying it yourself or would you prefer someone giving it to you?
You see, after I have planted my maize
Yes.
in that small piece of land,
Yes.
for my personal use,
Yes.
you see, I try as much as possible to minimize my inputs. As a small scale farmers, the ones I know,
Yes.
they would really prefer for them to be bought for
This.
to be sponsored, so that at least their input is minimized,
Yes.
and they maximize on their production.
Very interesting. So, as a follow-up to that, I just want to ask, so somebody comes and donates it to you, and I'm trying to avoid being crude. I want to ask this question. We have seen that elephant raids affect our bedrooms.
Yes.
To the extent that you have to be outside at night guarding the crops and all that. Would it be a suggestion if I would say, yes, we'll give you this, but you will pay at this price as a reduced cost so that it helps you even more? Would that be something that farmers would want to do?
Yes.
Because you see, it's actually reducing the cost of, apart from being at night in the farms, but also employing watchmen. Because as we saw as one of our friends, the farm, they even had watchmen at night, but they still raided. So back to you, Adam. How much do you think this thing should cost?
Well,
I've thrown Adam under the bus.
I'm really under the bus.
How much do you think this should cost? Or how much would someone spend beating those things, putting firewood at night,
Buying explosives, employing watchmen, buying beehives,
Yes.
looking for experts, making sure that they are colonized. You see, all these
Yes.
are costly.
Yes.
So if there is one solution that is cost effective, at least it is at an affordable price, then it is gonna be a very good thing for the farmers.
Very interesting.
And they would really support it.
Fantastic. So those who have been watching, I would love to say that actually this show has been sponsored by Gut In, which is an elephant repellent, and it is an organic scent-based elephant repellent. I hope I've said it right.
Exactly.
Yes, an organic scent-based elephant repellent, and as you can see on your screens, it goes beyond and helps even improve food security, the livelihoods of farmers, because then you will harvest, you'll have money in your pocket, you will do something else. The risks are very, very minimal. And I know this is just the beginning of this discussion, but let me preempt also what we'll be looking at further, probably the documentary that we're actually working on. I wanted to find out, when do farmers spray? Before harvest, during harvest, and also what else should farmers expect when they use Gut In?
Well, thank you so much for bringing in that. Like I told you, elephants are very crazy animals and they're very clever animals. So what happens is that they will even time 2 weeks to harvest time. They know now Noah is preparing to go harvest, but we should go before he goes there. Okay, so immediately you start getting that feeling that you should go and harvest, or you're soon going to harvest. Even elephants are also saying, yes, this is our time to go and attack. Okay, so the best time for us to continue spraying is when we think the crops are mature and we are just waiting for a small number of days to ensure that we get them out of the garden. So, but also you've also touched on something which is very key. When do we do this, or what are other benefits attached to this? as farmers there, I want to tell you that GuardIn is a product that it has other advantages as well. For example, it has an element of a fertilizer. When you spray GuardIn on new crops, all the it will improve on your yield.
Yes.
Because it has fertilizer content.
Right.
Remember, you said it is organic.
Yes.
Okay. So being organic, it is the ingredients that are used for mixing it, for concocting it, for cooking it, are full of fertilizer element in them. So when you cook them and then you spray on your crops, it has a fertilizer bit on it. But also it has another interesting element, which is insect repellent. So the armyworm, any insect that would attack your crop during the process of growth will be killed smoothly. So we always encourage farmers, if we are to improve on your food security issues, ensure that you buy it, spray it at the time of planting, in the middle, and then during the time of harvest, to ensure that you get the other benefits as well. When you plant it and it has reached a vegetative stage, spray.
Okay.
And when you're spraying, spray all over, because that one now will help you to kill the insects that are there, and also to bring in the fertilizer element, which will improve on the yields and hence improving on your food security, but also economically your pocket will smile. That's
interesting.
Yeah.
So those who've been watching, we've been talking about a human-elephant conflict. Now, Godfrey is now telling us that there are much more other benefits that will be there, especially the fact that we are also protecting and preserving our biodiversity, because then we can be able to say we are human beings, and as Godfrey started when we were beginning, that we were given the responsibility to protect the wildlife. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and for coming through and telling us much more about this. First of all, Adam, what are your last words to farmers, especially using GuardIn? I know you will be one of the people who will be actually making sure this is reaching farmers. What are your last words as we conclude?
There's one thing I've learned. We should adapt to changes. So there are methods that we've used over the years to protect ourselves against elephant raids, and they have proved to be cumbersome and they have failed. Now, I would ask farmers to adapt to this new technology. Yes, it is tested, proven that it works. So let all of us come together, use this new technology, and see how it works for us and how it will end up improving our food security, improving our yields, giving us peace of mind. It is a good thing. I will
encourage them to use
it.
Fantastic. Godfrey, I know this is just one of the last words. What would you encourage farmers, especially now, to adopt it? Because I think it is the responsibility of farmers now that the solution is available.
Yes. First of all, I want to encourage farmers. I've just mentioned some of the ingredients that we use for ensuring that we make this concoction. GuardIn is like a waiver. It is like a fixture for us as farmers, especially those farmers that are near the protected areas, because I've told you some of the plants that are unpalatable to the elephants.
Yes.
And those crops like chili, like ginger, like garlic, and marobain and others are even some of the ingredients that we use. So as farmers, we are even giving back with this product called GuardIn, in a way that when you plant these unpalatable crops, like chili, like ginger, marobain, and others, and then you get in touch with farmers, you get in touch with World Aid, we come and buy from you.
Exactly.
Okay. So when we buy from you, we make for you the product, which is called GuardIn. And when we make for you the product, which is called GuardIn, it will help you to chase the elephants away from your crops. It will help you to bring fertilizer on your crops, and then the yield will improve. It will help you to improve on the insecticide bit, because all the insects will be killed or deterred away from that. And that means that as we make for you the product, you will still have more benefits that you get from GuardIn. And when you get these benefits, you will improve on your yield. Economically, you will be able to have some money to care for your basic needs, take care of the family, pay school fees, and then it even brings some sense of ownership to farmers, by the way. Because you are the one who planted the jinga, you planted the chili, we bought it from you, but I've not given it to you for free. Because if you give it for me for free, I would say, this is a farmer's thing, let it be there.
Yes.
But when I've spent money on it as a farmer, I've purchased it, I will know that this is a product that I really dearly need and I really need to use it. I cannot buy something and then leave it there.
Fantastic.
So yeah, that's the best way to go. And as farmers, when there's that early warning of elephants coming to raid your crops, I've told you of the method of hanging around the wires or the fence, and I also told you about spraying. You spray 2 meters outside, 2 meters inside. Why we sprayed some 2 meters outside is that sometimes the elephants are stubborn. They will come, start eating from outside. When they find the crops are unpalatable, they will say, is it only here or even inside?
And then they
enter a bit inside. When they enter a bit inside, they still find the same thing. They again enter inside. Because now the chili will make their tongues feel like very sour.
Yes.
So every shamba is just like this. Let us just go back.
Okay.
And with an elephant, once something bad like that happens to it, they should keep that in their memory for a long period of time. They will know, no one's farm. No, don't touch.
Okay.
That's a no-go zone area.
Very interesting.
So to the farmers, I encourage you to actually get in touch with farmers, get in touch with World Aid to ensure that you buy this product. You'll have a story to tell.
There's also an aspect that which I know we will touch on it when we're actually doing visiting the farmers, or the environmental importance and impact, especially with using and repairing the bottles, probably recycling the bottles. Probably can just mention it 1 minute. I know Peter can talk for 10 minutes. Why would we use it? What is the environmental impact, especially protecting the environment with the bottles?
Well, like I told you, gardening brings in a lot of other impact to the environment. Because, like, for example, I told you use those jerry cans, and I mean the bottles.
Yes.
These bottles are used for, we use them, we buy water from them, and then when we buy water, we just throw them over the windows, like how rich people behave. They don't want to keep dirty things in their cars, they'll just keep throwing through the windows.
And the rich people.
When they throw through the windows, Garden is a project that is unique in its own way. It will create another impact on the environment by telling farmers to go and collect those bottles that have been thrown by the say rich people outside there in the environment, that would pollute the environment, pollute their soils, and to those very bottles would ensure that there is no proper dehydration of water into their land, and also growth of their crops would be hard. So those are the bottles we encourage farmers to go and pick and use.
Enough. Thank you. Thank you very much for gentlemen for coming here. And I've also had there are very many women who are conservationists.
Yes, exactly.
So next time we'll have gender balance.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming all the way, having spent time with us from February this year. And we are hoping that we're still going on to make sure that we are creating a solution that farmers can use. Adam, also thank you very much for your insight, especially with farmers and all that. For those who have made sure that this is a success, from our director behind the scenes, Duncan, and my producer, Mary Osero, we want to thank you, all of you who have been watching this, and let us know in the comment section how this raids, if you have been affected by elephant raids. If you have been affected by elephant raids and you share and give us some comments, we will actually give you 20 liters of Guardian for you to test and see this coming season. This has been a Farmer's Breakfast Show. We have actually gone above, way beyond the time that it was supposed to be, but this was a very interesting discussion that we wanted to make sure that you get to understand the partnership that we have together with World Aid to create and actually manufacture an elephant repellent that goes beyond just the elephant and also helps you conserve and regenerate your soil. Until we meet again next week, this is a Farmers Media, where we help you connect, learn and grow. Enjoy your weekend.
Elephants, farms, and food security. The rising conflict. Across the nation, a growing concern has emerged as elephants increasingly clash with the agricultural sector. In this delicate balance between nature and agriculture, food security is at risk. But there's a beacon of hope with the Guardian Elephant Repellent. In the tranquil landscapes of our countryside, elephants, these majestic creatures, have traditionally roamed freely. But as urban expansion and farmlands encroach upon their natural habitats, clashes between human and elephants are inevitable. The consequences? Ravaged farms, destroyed crops, and a potential food security crisis. Human settlements and farming regions are expanding, shrinking the space elephants once called home. As their natural sources of food diminish, they turn towards readily available, our farmlands. The outcome is a disturbing series of raids that destroy crops and push farmers to the brim. With these raids, farmers face significant losses. Maize, rice, and other staple foods are being destroyed, leaving communities vulnerable. The economic ramifications are staggering. Beyond the immediate losses from crop raids, the long-term impact on the agricultural sector can't be overstated. Farmers are hesitant to invest in high-yield crops, fearing the repercussions of a potential elephant raid. This has created a chain reaction. Less investment in farming means fewer crops, higher prices, and an increasing dependency on imports. Furthermore, it isn't just crops. Infrastructure like water sources and storage facilities have also been at risk, with elephants damaging irrigation systems and granaries. While farmers suffer economically, there's also a human toll. In their search for food, elephants can inadvertently cause harm. Though they are generally peaceful creatures, when threatened or cornered, they can become aggressive, leading to unfortunate accidents and, in some cases, fatalities. It is essential to remember that the elephants aren't the villains here. They too are victims, seeking sustenance in a world where their habitats are diminishing rapidly. As they move, they are often met with hostility, leading to retaliatory actions that further endanger these magnificent creatures. While the situation might seem dire, innovative solutions like Guardian Elephant Repellent offer a glimmer of hope. By addressing elephant raid, Guardian not only protects our food sources but also symbolizes a commitment to coexistence, mutual respect, and a brighter, harmonious future. It's a story of two worlds colliding, but with understanding, innovation, and commitment, a middle ground where both human and elephants thrive is achievable. Guardian Elephant Repellent is more than a product, it's the embodiment of this hope and the promise of a balanced world.